Georgia.
But John was wondering.
That's true.
It was terrible.
John was wondering who was saying that.
Who's saying that?
The Chiefs play-by-play guy that we heard every Monday after the driving in the overnight. You can keep on doubting the Chiefs, and they keep on winning. I'm like, dude, nobody's saying that.
Nobody is saying that.
But he thinks people doubt the Chiefs.
What do you mean? We had a dude on this show every day that was saying they stink.
Listen, we're not going to bring up B Gun.
Don't bring up B Gun. But he'll be with me from 1 to 2 leading into the pregame.
By the way,
show.
Brandon Graham, if he makes a big play on Sunday, he's back to #1 status. Just a heads up, Brendan Gunn. You're right now still the #1 BG in the city of Philadelphia. If Brandon Graham makes a play, then all of a sudden I'll take a tackle for loss. Then all of a sudden he's back on top.
I want to give you just one number that really is going to make you feel good right now. The last 4 underdogs of 2 points or less when the Super Bowl game closed are 3-1. Okay? But here's the better number. In this century's Super Bowls, which begins in 2001, not 2000, if you don't understand math. Underdogs in this century's Super Bowls are 17-6.
Oh, that's good.
17-6.
It's a betting trend.
So just a good number for you to have there.
All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, BZ Media Group station, broadcasting live from Radio Row here in New Orleans, powered through the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. And again, a big thank you to FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. They've made every moment more here on Radio Row for us. But also, a big thank you to Tompkins Community Bank, your bank of choice, because they have been having this man work. And he will be working a lot on this show for the next 2 hours. Andrew DeCecco is with us. Brother, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Great to be with you.
It is great to have you.
You seem very chipper.
I always am, man.
You are, but you're very chipper
today. He gets to talk about Super Bowl 59 for 2 hours today, man. Just 2 hours
with
with
you
us.
guys. What could be better?
Yeah, exactly, man. So, look, we're here. We're 2 days away. It's a football Friday. It's been a lot of fun so far on the show today, man. And we got so many things that we want to get into with you. But one of our main topics today, and I want you to answer this, and we're going to check out our text line on it even more as the show goes on. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. You know what's said about them.
Sure.
Mainly more negative or heavily critiqued, right? What would winning the Super Bowl do for both of them? And I get it. You can ignore the noise all you want, but think about what the talking points have been about those two guys. Once you solidify yourselves as Super Bowl champions, you're in a class of your own. So for context, yesterday, Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and we'll replay it for you later on the show, said that Jalen Hurts has to be the reason why they win to get more respect.
Yeah, now it keeps moving.
Steve Weich yesterday, who we respect a lot, he told us that a lot of people in the league don't like Nick Sirianni. Like, straight up don't like him. But if he wins a Super Bowl, like, is that just middle finger to them, or do they start respecting Sirianni and Hurts a little bit more? What do you think a Super Bowl title would do for those two individuals?
That's immortality right there. And I think that it's going to take, and I've maintained this point, Andrew, it's going to take a Super Bowl win for the national audience to really respect Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Both respective parties are they've been slated all season. Nick Sirianni for his antics. A lot of folks wonder what he does. Jalen Hurts for a multitude of reasons. It's going to take a Super Bowl victory, right or wrong. But I think when you look at how successful they've been as a duo, as a tandem, that's what matters. And I do believe they are going to win this game, and that's going to silence a lot of the critics.
Wow, 8 a.m. He's already telling us.
I like that.
He's already telling us W at 8 o'clock.
Because when I hear somebody like Nick Wright call Nick Sirianni a doofus, that bothers me.
Well,
because
you can go talk to him. He'll be here soon.
Cool. Well, good.
Here's the thing, though, is you bring up a great point. And Andrew and I have talked about this before games. You would never walk up to Nick Sirianni and said, "You're a doofus." I would absolutely say to Nick Sirianni, some of your behaviors have been clownish.
Yes.
But you would not go up to a grown man and go, "You're a doofus."
Who even uses that word anymore?
You know who does? Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Who's trying to get clicks. I mean, it's embarrassing because the media has degenerated into that.
Yeah, it has.
That there are people he's calling a grown man names. And by the way, Nick Sirianni would kick his ass.
And by the way,
would just lay him out.
Make easy work. Yep.
Don't talk. Don't call. There's no reason to call him a name. You want to call out his behaviors? You want to talk about that? That's different. But seriously, it's such a clown show what they're so desperate to do for clicks over there at the FS1 show.
So
Andrew,
Andrew,
we don't do that.
You're around the team all the time. The behaviors, right? We always talk about some of the antics. And look, I think he does need to tone it down at times.
Sure.
But the team does love him for it.
Yeah.
What if some of the players said, and I'm not even just saying this week, I'm saying over the course of the season. Like, I know Jordan Mailata had that great quote in the Tim McManus article that he said, would we wish that he was more professional at times? Yeah, sure. But we ride with him.
Mature.
Right? And yes. And so I imagine you may get that same sense. Like, who are some of the players? Because remember, the Cleveland Browns game, he said the players want me to be Nick again.
Mm-hmm. I've actually written a story recently called Culture Builds Habits.
Love that.
And what I mean by that is I spoke to different players about how Nick Sirianni went about establishing a connection with them, because that's obviously a primary principle of his core values. And whether it's Paris Campbell saying that he's the same guy that he was back when I was with the Colts. Mm-hmm. When he was drafted, you hear from the owner, you hear from the GM, he goes, Nick Sirianni was the first guy who called me.
Wow.
He said he makes everybody feel welcome. He's unapologetically himself. Milton Williams, and this is a small one. He asked Milton Williams, what's your favorite song? He said, I think it was called Change Me by Big X the Plug.
Okay.
And he said Sirianni gave it a listen.
I was just listening to that.
And he liked the song, and now they play it at practice. But it's finding different ways to relate to your players and being receptive to feedback and being willing to change and adapt and just be more composed in the moment that I don't think he gets enough credit for. So when I hear somebody that is so quick to throw out a name and kind of call him that, it's not coming from a place of knowledge. And it really bothers me when I hear that, because he has grown and evolved as a head coach, and he's a big reason why they're playing on Sunday.
What does that mean, though, what Nick Sirianni is about? The culture builder, the energy guy, the personal connections guy. I got to know this, though. Tell me what that means when the clock's running on Sunday.
It means that they're going to have his back because he has their back. And they're going to...
But what does that mean during a game, having his back?
You play harder. You're more receptive to your coach. It does count for something. You're playing for something greater. You're going out there with the mindset of, we want to win it for each other. We want to win it for our head coach, because just listen to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You don't think that matters? Listen to him at the podium about how much Nick Sirianni means to him and means to this football team. It definitely counts for something.
And I get what John's saying. Like, you're going to play in the game. You're going to play hard. Doesn't matter.
You're going up against Andy Reid. I need Nick Sirianni to do something to make a difference in the game.
Right, but here's the thing.
When you're going up against one of the all-time
because of the respect
greats.
they have with them, if think back to Doug.
Yes.
Philly special, right? Like, he had the faith in saying yes to Nick Foles, and I wondered, that may mean something to a player in one of the biggest moments of their lives. He says, yeah, sure. Let's do it. I trust you.
The fact, it always bothered me that Doug Peterson didn't come up with the call. That Nick Foles came up with the call.
That doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother me at all.
See, now it always did, because I always looked at Nick Foles and said, I give Nick Foles the credit.
Well, yeah, but Doug,
I don't give Doug.
But Doug could have been like, I don't know, man. That's big spot here. Fourth down. We're going. He could have been scared, or maybe he couldn't. Maybe the moment became too big for him, right? And there's a respect there for Doug Peterson. There's going to be a time in the game. You know where I'm coming from. I think this game's going down to the wire. Oh. We're going to be stressed out for 4 quarters.
He's going to be aggressive, and he's going to believe in his players.
And you know what? A player might need to.
Is he?
I think he will.
Dude, think about the locker room speech that he's going to give at halftime.
I got all this talk. Last Super Bowl, I didn't see that.
He did say he learned from it.
Biggest stage, I saw his sphincter tighten up multiple times.
But I can't sit here yesterday.
I think it helped to cost them a game.
But I can't sit here yesterday and say that now in year 4 he's turned the corner and think that he didn't and say he didn't change.
Sure.
He has changed. He has proven to be more moldable. I would say more adaptable. He's going to lean on his offensive line as he has all season. He has Saquon Barkley. And I think when you kind of lead in with that kind of conviction, it radiates throughout the sideline. And that stuff, in a game like this, it matters.
Absolutely. All right, Connor, what are the people saying as we continue to check the text line? Andrew's with us for the rest of the show, so we're going to break down this game. If you want to have any questions for Andrew, we have a test to take as well. If you have any questions for Andrew about the game itself, send them in at 610-632-0975. But also, What do you believe a Super Bowl ring would do for Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni when it comes to the narrative for them? What do we have on the text line this morning?
All right, we just got a fun one here, but I think this is a good text to read. Keith from Whitehall says, I drive to work and look at the Allentown PPL&L building lit up in green. You know we are going to be partying hard here in Whitehall, the home of Saquon.
Yes.
We have something that the Chiefs can't copy with number 26. Go Birds.
Love that. No, they literally don't have a player like that. They have Patrick Mahomes, who's a major X factor at quarterback.
Well,
but
he is a Saquon-type player at quarterback.
Yes, he is.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, probably won't be celebrating that Chiefs gentleman who was wearing the overalls in a establishment last night.
There was a guy last night in just overalls, nothing underneath.
Really?
Chiefs, and he was the most obnoxious. The way people talk about Philadelphia fans, this dude was one of the most obnoxious individuals ever. So he just kept on screaming, Chiefs!
He was just begging for attention. Look at me,
Yeah.
look at me, look at me.
He's not like our man Jamie Pags.
Go rob a bank.
Guy.
No.
What's up, guys? Andrew Salciunas, my man John Kincade. You better be following us along all week long, because starting Wednesday and through the rest of the week, we got you covered from Radio Row, Johnny.
And it's going to be great because if you follow on our YouTube channel and you like and you subscribe, you're going to get all the great interviews and some of the little fun stuff we're doing behind the scenes to take you along with us to Super Bowl 59.
Yeah, obviously you can watch the entire show from 6 to 10, but all those shorts that we'll be doing. John and I are going to be walking around Bourbon Street. John might be carrying me around Bourbon
That
Street.
could happen.
So we're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll bring it to you.
And be sure to subscribe and like on everything on YouTube and check out our socials too. We got you covered.
Absolutely. Thanks.